open. That throat chakra. Putting on some Vaseline. Just got out the shower. Do y'all be going live these hours? Because I was just on YouTube. I don't know where I want to go live. Because people don't be tuning in. Even for some shit I just uploaded. 54 minutes. I was thinking like long views would get a response. But anyways, hey, it's the fates, y'all. It's the fates. From the perspective of the lunar transits. The moon's in Gemini currently, but we're going to give real-time energy as if the moon was in Taurus, because it's going to be in the cusp. Good evening, good evening. We're talking about the fates, the past, present, and future via the lunar transits of the moon transitioning, being out of Aries, being into Taurus, and then being on the cusp of going into Gemini. Good evening, good evening. If this is the hours everyone's on TikTok, because I was just on YouTube, go subscribe at Esoteric Soul G. I was just on YouTube and it was dead as fuck. I mean, TikTok about to get shut down. TikTok shut down, so everyone's going to be flooding. So everyone that floods YouTube, check out my page. Shout out to DSF1, Gaia Speak, Sarah. Y'all got some bot names. I'm not even going to lie. Because I don't see any profile pictures. I just see numbers at the end too. Shout out Care Bear. We're talking about astrology, the fates, trilogy, the lunar transits of the moon, the past, death, fall, whatever you want to call it, in Aries, and then the moon just now exiting its exaltation of Taurus. So it's coming off of that high horse and going into in Gemini. About our dreams and illusions and imaginations and random ideas about how to make that possible. Not expand that, but how to relate that to make it possible. Relate that to the right person, place, or thing that can logically make that reality. Because it's already a bubble floating around. We finished with the Vaseline. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about the astrological transits. I call this the Fae. This is where I wrap up the previous moon transit, like Aries, and the present real-time transit of Taurus, which just entered Gemini with the yep energy. So we're gonna do those aspects of how the past, present, and future are wrapped up and encompass one. So you see the transitions of your emotions, and so you're aware that the previous moon cycle is clashing with the moon cycle at present. And the moon cycle before that is like grandfathered in. That energy is grandfathered in. So it's like the elder starting point of the energy via the modality, or predominantly the modality, because if we're doing past, present, future, I jumped in on the cardinal, fixed, mutable, or the cardinal, fixed and mutable energy. Where the fuck is my ring? Oh, it's my wedding ring. It slipped off. I think it's cruising. You ain't got no reason to be driving that slow. Niggas don't want to get home. Niggas don't want to get home at 11:30, or you must be tired. TikTok shut down. I've explained this intro. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Share, like, or comment if you decide to stay. This live is about astrology, and I was explaining myself again for no reason. People don't want to hear about astrology at 11:30 at night, I guess. But I mean, trial and error and experimentation on our end. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm not gonna get into the title until everyone has invested. You don't even have to invest anything, but the universe is transmitting this message to you about you. Some shadow work about yourself that most people aren't fucking into, apparently. It's 11:30 at night. What the fuck are you doing up? Doom scrolling on the live side of TikTok. Because the live side of TikTok, I've been on that. That shit's some bullshit. That shit is some bird shit. That shit is some horse shit. All kinds of allegorically animal related pieces of shit. We outside. Oh, oh. Blackout. No music. No music. No music. No music. No music. I might as well stay like this because ain't nobody join. Look, I'm going to hit these. Hold on. I got to cut the light back on. This is going to be a crazy download when I download this live. And I keep explaining the intro like 4 or 5, 8 times because people ain't staying in my motherfucking live that are doom scrolling on the live side of TikTok. I've been on the live side of TikTok and ain't shit interesting. But this message here, you want to hear this message. You want to get your esoteric forecast for real, not just astrology, synastry, compatibility. You want to receive this forecast. So we got 2 consistent viewers in here. Shout, thank you for the hearts. That's what your name looks like. So I'm gonna go with the vibration and the frequency. Appreciate that. No trolls, though. No trolls. No trolls. Don't jump in my DM. Don't send me no invite in the live. I'm good. I'm chatty. I'm about to go live on YouTube as well for my laptop. The rain ain't even a participation. We're talking about astrology, y'all. The fates. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're talking about the fates. Thank you for joining. The lunar transiting through Aries, through Gemini. Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. The past, present, and the future. I'm outside. It was pissing down rain. We was going to have some lit aesthetics. Instead, we got Thursday night traffic on this road. But we're going to begin. We had the moon transit into Aries out of the wave of Pisces. So how this affected us was it was giving birth. It was giving a new perspective of expressing a vision about our dreams, imaginations, and delusions. We were taking action as far as being creative, expressing our personal experience, our personal individuality, our personal independence, or we were painting a vision of how you can relate your emotional moods, not like Cancer, but the cosmic moods, the cosmic waves, the cosmic clouds, the accumulation of thoughts and feelings, the 4D esoteric body, the thoughts, not the thoughts and feelings, but the thoughts, the concepts. It's election season. This eclipse is going to be coming into, soon here into with the North Node and Chiron in Aries with the moon that was joining that. So it's an emotional frustration about being independent and expressing yourself in a way that will lead into a mistake of you either being too independent, going too far out with expressing a dream, imagination, and delusion in a passionate, straightforward, direct Aries way, and not upholding that, not creating a container, not creating a cup, not creating an earth, not creating an envelope, not creating something stable, because these are two energies that are like the head, the snake, and the tail of the snake. They're next door neighbors. So the allegory I like to give for this transit of moon in Aries and the sun in Pisces is that you don't want to overborrow too much from your neighbor, or you don't want to just be too quiet with your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? You're standing on business, they're standing on business. But if y'all have to come together for the community, for the sake of Pisces, being creative and disattached, and it's attached, but it's the vast love, but still, and then expressing and birthing and bringing and ushering in life. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, I've given you life, so I don't need to do all this. That's what Aries participated in. And then Aries has been, the North Node has been still sextiling Mars and Pluto in Aquarius, so taking power and control, the power and control that we have over our passions, motivations, and desires to work with humanity, or have control over the concepts of the mental forms that humanity has, being in the seventh dimension, seeing the fourth dimension, oversouls and demigods. These are like demigods to this Aquarius energy, being separated, where it's in the angelic space or where it's in a demonic space, where it can throw rocks at the gods that you worship, or the thought forms, you know what I'm saying, with its expression of rebelliousness, because, you know, so that's the opportunity. You can take that opportunity to use that passion and motivation to, the passion and motivation that has been honed in and sharpened by Pluto, power and control over the people, asserting that power and control over humanity, or, you know what I'm saying, asserting power and control over those waters in the water barrel, because you're pouring the barrel, so that that entails some form of control with the measurements or the angle that you're teetering. And in the water is the emotion flowing out of the void, and it's going to go in the direction that it's going into, but it knows that it's flowing into the mouth of the fish. You know what I'm saying? It's flowing into the mouth of the fish. So that sextile of that generating those emotions from a structured place into the mouth of a fish can, you know what I'm saying, the fish can swim into the North Node and take the opportunity to get fried and filleted, and it creates an allegory of someone's catching that fish with that sextile to Aries, and they're like, okay, we can open a restaurant, we can catch more of these fish, we can throw it back, we can see the size, we can measure it, using all those Aquarius mentality and structured ideas. So that's the sextile, but it can make a mistake, and it can cut itself if it's not doing the right thing with the fish, or if the fish jumps back into the water, and then you're sitting there, you gotta think, it moves to different tides, moves to different waters, or you don't catch something, and that's a mistake of being independent, of having your own route, going out to sea by yourself, or you are staying consistent and people are rocking with you in that form of you allowing people to rock with you. So that's the sextile between Aquarius and Aries, and the moon, when our emotions were attached to it. So expressing that emotion, expressing that in the way to see your emotions, to where you can uplift your emotions, to where you can generate a Holy Spirit, like a ring of fire. You can generate a Holy Spirit where that water can be mystical and mystified with, you know what I'm saying, what were we talking about? Because the ring of fire allegory with the mist of the water in Pisces, yes, sun in Pisces, and then that sextile with Pluto. So then you got the other side of that, which is Taurus, and Jupiter and Uranus, or those planetary bodies are a sextile to each other. But in Taurus, it's like, it's a slow, rigid opportunity, and rebelliousness and revolutionary. It can control itself to a degree, but in general, it's going to be rebellious to. It's Aquarius, so the time isn't linear. The time is circumference. You know what I'm saying? Circumstantial. In a circumstance that has a phase through it around you, right? So that's the sextile and that opportunity that would be there for Taurus. So Taurus is doing that on its own, and it's just right there. So the emotions are waiting to be exalted because they are being expressed in Aries and having a vision, and they can go the miles off of that gas for the home, the emotional attachment, because it already has the practicalness and the value. Now it has the emotional value. Now it has something that it can feel other than looking at a number or a price value or people coming up to it asking it for a price. It has an emotional attachment, an emotional value, and that attachment comes from the space of where you are expanding and contracting. So you are contracted to a point where you can hone in on a small detail and things of that nature. And this goes for Saturn and Neptune and Venus and Pisces. Venus is at home here. So, you got pretty much all that expressing a new feeling about compromising and relating your love complex or a dream and a delusion, you being in that bubble. But that Aries energy is, like I said, the ring of fire that can pop that bubble, or that can draw the mysticism and the attention and the energy and will that shit into existence. And air and water aspects, not much going on. Moving into Taurus, Moon in Taurus, Sun in Pisces, sextile. Moon in Taurus, Sun in Pisces, sextile. So emotionally connecting, the Moon is exalted in Taurus. Taurus is going mild. Taurus is going to limit. Taurus is locked in. Taurus is the bull that's not backed into a corner, but is plowing the land because it can increase the value of the land, and the more land that it covers, the more value of the land that people are utilizing it for, and structure and things of that nature with its emotion to where it can settle down and raise cattle or raise nurturing things. It can tighten up the ship, make things more beautiful. And like I just mentioned, the sextile between Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, because those planets are Aquarius and Sagittarius. So you're experiencing and learning the ground that you're covering. You're learning new emotions related to the value system via your experiences, because you're not going to stop at a marketplace. You're going to keep moving with the tools that you just have readily on you, and that's going to make you transform or revolution against what you have, and to make it better and to enhance it, to make it more individualistic, to where if you know that your spirit or other spirits are steering you in the wrong direction, that you are going to keep them on track, because the oxen and the mule can avoid certain snake pitfalls and things of that nature that the owner might not see, or a pile of manure or a tree trunk or a root, and you can sit there and learn from that. Now it's the sextile. So standing on business with secure or insecure, secure or insecure about your passions and motivations, revolving passions and motivation, about your dreams and imaginations, and your connectivity. Your connectivity and connection to your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Because the fragile boundaries that are there will be knocked over. So, but the moon is emotionally attached to a value system, so you have this advantage of valuing. But in my circumstance, I went through a shadow period where it was insecurities about the past. So be mindful of the past delusions, and you can have the opportunity to go back and reflect on past boundaries that you didn't stand on business with, and you can't salvage those boundaries. You can't even see where the boundaries were to do the shadow work to know. So don't be too hard on yourself, because Venus is here, so you can delve into with things that you appreciate, the dreams and imaginations that you appreciate now, because whereas you may have been taking action based off your creativity and putting that out there and other people loving it, or you doing it with your intent, now you are compromising and relating for your dreams, imaginations, and creativity. And there's creative directors out there. So you have to compromise certain egos and thought forms. You know, egos and thought forms can come from a very dark place in the 12th house, psychic, the psychic or the psych ward or at home or unseen wounds and things of that nature. So there you have that. I didn't even break down the Lilith. So the sun in conjuncting. The moon in Aries in conjuncting Lilith in Virgo. Lilith being enticed to reveal herself. But Aries is like, don't look at the details of it as revealing yourself. You put the vision out there. You make the product perfect. You relate the product to others that can add ideas to it. They're not defiling or muddying your waters, because you have to receive that energy. If you're putting it on them and giving them the structures and the criticism via or communicating a new or something personal about yourself versus just business, then you can look within, and that's where that is going. So then, boom, back to Taurus. Taurus, trining Lilith and Virgo. So the Lilith and Virgo in when the moon was talking about that misunderstanding, now that misunderstanding is gas with a gift. Is bringing a gift because you misunderstand something to a point where you just feel uneasy, you just feel uncomfortable around it, so you kind of might just avoid it. But Virgo is misunderstanding where the way it's still relating is practical, or it's making it make sense, or it's know-how, because it's still uncomfortable, but it's still your North Node journey, because the North Node is uncomfortable in general, and still itself is unknown, unforeseen territory. It's things that set you on the right path for your life path numbers, or your soul number and things of that nature. But with the moon exalted, you don't be careful not to go too far with it, your emotional attachments to your values and things like that. Because like I said, you may value the wrong thing via an old sextile to Pisces, an old boundary that ain't there, and now that boundary's not there, you might value the space where you don't have that yoke or that weight on your shoulder, that burden to carry, where you can self criticize yourself, because you're gonna you're gonna take that value system and send it to Virgo, and Virgo's, but so you value this, but you're not valuing but you're not looking at the details of the value system and how you need the value system. You need to relate the value system. You need this and that, this and that, this and that. You worry, you make it a bigger deal because they have the value system to manifest, but you're sitting here, Black Moon and Lilith, feeling gaslit, feeling pressure to, take out that virgin energy and things of that nature. So the moon still exalted in Taurus, with Venus, Sex, Saturn, squaring Pluto and Mars in. Oh, I didn't even break down. So the moon was in Aries. I don't think Mercury was in Aries at the time. I think Mercury was still in detriment or asleep. They're still asleep in Mercury, but with the moon in Taurus, same rules apply. Same rules apply for Mercury, because it was on the cusp a few degrees ago, but now it's no longer on the cusp. So Mercury in Aries, being the next door neighbor, communicating or expressing your new vision, your new way of your personal advantage, or your new personal independence that you have gained. And you can be flighty from certain conflicts or conversations. Not like Aries runs from a fight, but the Aries has that fast-paced communication and utilizing the mind, and the mind gets distracted because it's not in action, it's not motivated, it's just communicating and expressing the air that's fueling the fire. If the fire starts burning too bright, like Leo, Aries don't fuck with that, so it's gonna separate and detach and just ghost that energy because that sextile. And then boom, the moon in Taurus being neighboring gas is supported by Mercury and Aries to communication, where communicating our personal energy from the past, transitioning from that Aries sparking a new life to go into an insecurity with that Mercury and Aries energy in the North Node. You want to be flighty, or you want to just say something sharp and quick, and that could be a mistake, that could be a chiron. That you can pause for a minute, slow down, and go and be like, oh, this is my another piece of my shadow work that I was talking about. Communicating like this isn't, someone gets washed up in the energy. You being the astrologically aware individual, or at least applying yourself, you can relate that, not really relate, But Mercury is a relatable sign, so you're relating a new vision, and you are setting the bar for people to be on their shit. Now, with the like I said, the moon, Jupiter sextile, this opportunity is slow and steady wins the race with your wisdoms, but don't go too far in the value system and getting lost in your own experiences, trying to stand in that fragile boundary that got moved with Saturn there, and then Neptune being at home. So those boundaries can go into the home, into the underworld, the into the what's it called? What's it called? The one eye. I think I think it's Cyclops. I'm pretty sure it's Cyclops. So the Cyclops and the Neptune underwater that work for Poseidon and creating his shells and the weaponry and stuff, because you don't know what's going on under there. But it's practical. It's lava. It's fertile in Neptune. So that's the sextiles with the sun taking action. So you're being insecure or secure. So you might not escape like Sagittarius, but you might stand on business with a delusion, or you might have one foot on business and one foot off of business. But yeah, with Pluto and Mars there squaring, this is the time where you want to stand on business and clean up your home, taking responsibility, especially with Lilith there. Lilith will it's gaslit, but you're going to be more your sexual, the divine feminine sexuality in cleaning up your house, doing chores, and doing these physical labor tasks and servicing, you know what I'm saying, others, not going too far and being taken advantage of. But that's what Taurus is here, so you know the value of your work. But you know you're gonna be trying to have a communication about your motives or your intent. But motives is daytime, intent is nighttime. So you're gonna be trying to have a conversation, or overthinking, or rebelling in a way that you know is an expression of yourself, of your desires, with that sextile to Aries, that the moon Aries was clashing against Taurus and things of that nature. So because it doesn't want to, Aries don't mind letting go, but with Mercury there, it's still remnants of that emotion that's stirring around there. But yeah, so taking power control over your motives and motivations for working with humanity, working with networking and rubbing shoulders with other people that take the conversation. But if they don't have that practicalness, if they don't have the experience, they don't look like they have the accolades, because Jupiter is it's slow right there. So, but the experiences that it has, the tools that it uses, it's going to seem like, you know what I'm saying, it is revolutionizing those tools because of the value system, or what other people are valuing or relating the value system with via the Lilith and Virgo transit that's taking place. So now we have reached, you know what I'm saying, the future, the end of the future. We are no longer standing on business. The moon is no longer exalted. We're still standing on business. Our emotions are taken out, so we are back into reality of our experiences, and you don't have to emotionally connect and go too far and be like, the values, the values, nurture and take care. It's pretty, it's cool, making it all look pretty and shit. But you go back to the reality of the transmuted and transformation and the slow and steady. Wins the race, not needing to, you know, have your own emotional connection that brings a value. Then you can see how when you lack that emotion, how standing on business and going too far with your sexuality and doing that shadow work for the Lilith and Virgo, and relating with people and criticizing your experiences, because that is in conjunction, if I am not wrong, because it's Scorpio Sagittarius. So it might be misunderstanding how you have to see something from someone else, stable or unstable, before you begin to want to participate. So you don't got to see that side of that energy to want to participate, because you can rebel and revolt, you know what I'm saying, but not with just the communication, not just with technology, but with your own security and stability. As we talk about Uranus and revolutionizing and technology, shut off as we talk about Uranus. Shutting off as we talk about Uranus. But yeah, we're back together. Shutting up as we talk about Uranus. But yeah, basically that's the gist of it. The conversation, learning, like not everything takes a conversation, and learning that not everything takes you valuing something that you have and going through that experiences to transform it. You can transform it, because when you innovate something and make it anew, you have value. and Taurus don't feel like it's not gonna like understand how to relate that, but they are manifestors. They are genuinely good people. They do take care of their people. It's just in their own way, and you gotta get past the earthliness. Now, the moon is in Gemini. Moon in Gemini. T square. Lilith in Virgo. Sun in Pisces. Middleman. Middle child. Third child. You got, you know what I'm saying, the third child's always the odd man out. So the way of communicating, the way of speaking is the odd man out between Lilith and Virgo being the gaslit, peer pressured virgin with for the Sun, Saturn, Neptune, and Venus appreciating, relating. You know, I say these out of order, but really it's the order is the Venus, Neptune, Saturn, and then the Sun somewhere in the middle of those shit. Somewhere. So, taking action on your way of compromising to make yourself more comfortable, or not even more comfortable, but to make it more lovely and homely, and have more intuition and teachable moments with your boundaries and your restrictions and things that you are being responsible for under the water. That the pillars and boundaries can extend out of the water into the clouds, into the rains, into the hurricane, things of that nature, right? Storms. And yeah, so Gemini's, you know what I'm saying, in opposition is Sagittarius, so it's really just squaring that, communicating about how you're being gaslit, sharing, relating ideas about your sexuality, and having ideas with other people coming together and getting out that bubble of over critiquing yourself and others based off of plans, making sense, not make sense, having a conversation just to talk, communicating just to communicate, seeing the two sides of everything, the light and the dark of yourself, doing that shadow work to realize that you ain't the shit all the goddamn time, and you shouldn't expect perfectionism from a dream, a delusion, an imagination that is to inspire to collectively love. So you can have a communication about your dreams, imaginations, delusions to see if they make sense with the moon Gemini. So you see the two sides, the light and the dark of each side. And I did not mention that all the South Node, and the North Node, Aries and Libra are going to speak for themselves when the moon's in Aries, opposing, you know, our way of feeling comfort, of bringing balance and stability to our communications, and Pluto and Mars trying that gift of, you know, taking back control of your passions and motivations and desires via your previous ways of relating those ideas and setting up structures. And then the moon is always being exalted and going with its values, but your emotions, but the energy that you're sitting in is in conjunction, misunderstanding that, bringing balance, having fairness with one side and or the other not just being in the middle. And Taurus doesn't really choose to be in the middle, just choose to be on his own motherfucking side, or the side that, not like Virgo, that makes sense, but the side that you can get something out of it, value or profit, like Scorpio, but the superficial side that you can stand on business, and as long as your reputation, you know what I'm saying, like that Capricorn energy, but the reputation of the things that you have, the things that you're going out and getting, with Libra in the South Node. But the moon in Gemini also sextile in Aries. Aries sextile by the air signs. Aries sextile by the air signs. So it's adding some way of communicating about your passions and your desires. And Mercury, so you're talking about your emotions, about how you feel, about the vision that you're expressing, and how people are relating to that, and how people are reacting to that, how people might pick up the ball. You have an idea to pick up the ball, and they go out and do their own thing, and then they come back, and then they're all expressive and they're all independent, and you feel like they went off and stole your shine without you, and it's uncomfortable for you because now you're taking the opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to go into the North Node, or to go into a wound, or to communicate about a wound, but it's not really that deep, but you don't mind talking about it, being vulnerable about it. But the dark side of that Gemini energy might be, you know what I'm saying, you be trying to be manipulative with your words and your way of communicating with the North Node and the Chiron, or be manipulative about the mistake that you foresee coming, or because you manifested it. Like you Geminis have the two sidedness. But Grand Airtron, ooh, hope you didn't see that. Grand Airtron, gotta get inside, I'm congested. grand air trine of um, South Node Libra, Pluto and Mars taking power and control over your passions, motivations, desires, with your own idea, and being motivated with your own idea, but you know what I'm saying, involving people, humanity, election season, concepts, oversouls, being a demon time or being an angel time, depending on the death and the rebirth cycle that you are in. If you're dying in the form of a demon to become an angel, or if you're dying in the form of angel burning out to become a demon, or if you're just being ascended and manipulating the circumstance. A lot of manipulative logic going on that could be going on out here, but it's also still a gift to communicate. Um, you know what I'm saying? Previous relationship, previous boundaries and making sense, and having more relatable viewpoints. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's at a T square, it's still a grand air trine. So the T square between the mutable signs and the grand air trine of the logic and the communication is going to be on fire, ring of fire, Mercury and Aries, for real, for real. And then being next door to Jupiter and Uranus, I explained that a few seconds ago, with the moon exaltation and communicating ideas and overstepping boundaries over people's dreams, imaginations, and delusions with being too logical, the two-sidedness, but you can utilize your two-sidedness being in the dark and act like you don't know something. Meanwhile, you got all these ideas and thoughts inside of your heads. Gemini. But that's going to wrap up the Fates astrology by the moon, transiting through Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, past, present, and future. I'm going to download this live and post it on my YouTube. Go and check it out. I'll post a short clip of it on my TikTok here. Thank you for all who tuned in for a short while and liked and shared it with others. I really got 90 likes, almost 100, but yeah.